There's a quiet kind of power that no one teaches us in school. A strength that doesn't shout, doesn't panic, doesn't chase approval. It simply stands, calm, focused, unmoved. In a world that constantly pulls at your attention, stirs your emotions, and tests your patience, the greatest victory may be this: becoming unshakable. That's what Stoicism offers, not just as ancient philosophy, but as a timeless roadmap for modern peace. Not numbness, not cold detachment, but clarity, resilience, and deep inner freedom. If you've ever felt tossed around by life, emotions, or people, you're not alone. But today you begin to anchor yourself differently. This is the first of 10 Stoic principles that will transform how you move through the world. Part 1. Purpose is your anchor. Without it, you drift. There's a reason ships drop anchor in storms. Without something stable beneath, they drift into danger, even when they seem calm on the surface. That's exactly what happens to us when we live without a clear purpose. We move, we react, we survive, but we don't steer. And slowly, we become strangers to our own direction. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." It's a call to alignment. When your actions are tied to your purpose, even the painful moments feel meaningful. Without that purpose, even success feels hollow. In modern psychology, purpose is not just a motivational buzzword, it's biological. Studies from the University of Michigan show that individuals with a strong sense of purpose have lower levels of cortisol, better immune function, and even longer lifespans. It's not just that purpose helps you survive, it helps you thrive. But your purpose doesn't have to be grand or performative. It doesn't have to impress anyone. It just has to be yours, raising a child with wisdom, healing what you once ran from, serving quietly, creating art, restoring dignity to your family name. Purpose isn't about noise, it's about depth. Without purpose, every setback feels like a signal to quit, every delay feels personal. But with purpose, those same challenges become fuel. They don't break you, they build you. You begin to suffer more intelligently, hurt with direction, persevere with meaning. Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning, wrote, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose." This isn't abstract. This is survival wisdom from someone who lived through hell and chose hope. So how do you begin to find purpose? Ask deeper questions than, "What do I want?" Ask, "What pain am I willing to grow through?" Ask, "What breaks my heart that I still feel called to serve?" Purpose is found not just in what you pursue, but in what you're willing to endure for something greater. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Revisit it daily. Purpose isn't a plaque you hang. It's a compass you return to. And when you hold to it, storms may still come, but you won't drift. You'll face them with clarity. Because purpose doesn't remove struggle, it gives it shape. Mastering emotions. Rule the mind, or it will rule you. There are moments when a single word can ruin your day. A glance, a delay, a disappointment. Your heart races, your chest tightens, and suddenly your peace is gone. That's the power of unmastered emotion. But what if you didn't have to be a prisoner of every feeling that visits you? The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. In other words, the fire outside doesn't burn you until you let it inside. That's where your true power lies, not in controlling others, but in commanding yourself. Emotions are not the enemy, they're messengers. But if you let them drive the car, they'll crash it every time. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome and daily student of Stoicism, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That strength isn't coldness, it's clarity. Modern neuroscience agrees. According to Dr. Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, our brain's emotional center, the amygdala, reacts faster than our rational brain, the neocortex. But with mindfulness, we create space between stimulus and response. That space is where your freedom lives. It's not about suppressing feelings. Suppression breeds shame and disconnection. It's about observing without attachment. I feel anger is not the same as I am angry. That one shift changes everything. You are not your emotion. You are the awareness behind it. And this awareness can be trained. Like a muscle, the more you pause before reacting, the more you reclaim your power. Start small. A breath, a walk, a prayer. Each time you don't react blindly, you teach your nervous system a new language. Peace. The Stoics practiced this through daily reflection. They wrote down what stirred their emotions and examined it with calm detachment. Today, journaling, meditation, and breathwork are modern expressions of that same ancient practice. They're not luxuries, they're emotional armor. The world will provoke you, people will disappoint you, life will throw chaos at your doorstep. But you don't have to absorb everything. You can become a filter, not a sponge. You can feel deeply without drowning. As the Dalai Lama said, do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. It's not spiritual bypassing, it's emotional maturity. You can cry and still choose peace. You can feel rage and still choose restraint. You can be triggered and still choose your response. That's mastery, not perfection, not numbness, but the quiet daily act of meeting your emotions without becoming them. And in that practice, you don't just find peace, you become it. Art 3. Guarding the mind. Protect your peace like treasure. Your mind is your sanctuary or your battlefield. Every single day, it is under siege. From breaking news designed to spark fear, to scrolling that drains your time and soul, to conversations that leave you more anxious than before, the question isn't whether your peace is attacked, it's whether you protect it. Epictetus warned, you become what you give your attention to. What you consume through your eyes, ears, and thoughts shapes the architecture of your inner world. Garbage in, anxiety out. Stillness in, clarity out. Your focus is not neutral, it's transformational. In today's age, guarding your mind is not a suggestion, it's survival. According to Dr. Rick Hansen, a neuropsychologist at UC Berkeley, the brain is like Velcro for negativity and Teflon for positivity, meaning unless we consciously protect our attention, our mind will default to fear, anger, and worst-case thinking. Social media algorithms are designed to hijack your brain's survival circuitry. Outrage, gossip, division. They attract clicks. But at what cost? If you're constantly feeding your mind with conflict, don't be surprised when peace feels foreign. The Stoics practiced mental hygiene daily. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, journaled each morning to clear mental clutter before facing the world. Today, we do the same with meditation, journaling, or even intentional silence. Not to escape life, but to meet it from a place of strength. Guarding your mind doesn't mean avoiding all discomfort. It means choosing what enters the gate. Would you let a thief into your home? Then why let toxic thoughts camp inside your mind? You wouldn't drink poison just because it's popular. Don't let your thoughts do the same. Author James Clear wrote, "Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become." That applies to thoughts too. Every thought you dwell on is a vote for the kind of mind you will carry tomorrow. Choose carefully, rehearse peace, practice stillness, cultivate what strengthens your soul. Set boundaries with screens, unfollow people who plant doubt. Protect the first and last 30 minutes of your day like sacred ground. Begin your mornings with truth, not comparison, and your nights with stillness, not chaos. These are not rituals of weakness. They are strategies of spiritual strength. Because once you lose your peace, everything else suffers. But when your mind is guarded, when your inner world is steady, you become the calm in every storm. You don't react, you respond. You don't spiral, you stay rooted. You don't fear the noise, you outlast it. So today, don't just protect your bank account or reputation, protect the one thing that controls them all, your mind. Because peace is not a product of luck, it's a result of discipline. Part 4. Turning insults into inner strength. Words can cut deeper than knives. One sentence, spoken in anger or mockery, can echo in your mind for days, even years. But what if you could turn those very words into fuel? What if every insult became your invitation to grow stronger, not smaller? The Stoics taught us, insult only hurts if we grant it power. Epictetus said, "It is not he who reviles or strikes you who insults you, but your opinion that these things are insulting." Pain doesn't come from their words, it comes from our agreement with them. When you stop agreeing with the insult, you stop bleeding from it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself often, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Meaning, rise. Don't retaliate. Evolve. Don't engage. Their words reveal their character, not yours. Modern psychology echoes this wisdom. According to Dr. Kristen Neff, researcher on self-compassion, people who practice compassionate detachment toward verbal attacks experience lower stress, higher emotional intelligence, and faster recovery from social rejection. Your response, not their intent, defines your power. But let's be honest, it hurts to be misunderstood, to be mocked, dismissed, or labeled unfairly. That sting is real. But the Stoics would say, use the sting, turn it inward, not to wound, but to forge. Every attack is a chance to reinforce your self-understanding, not what they say, but what you know about yourself. In fact, being insulted is one of the best ways to reveal how much inner work remains. Do you crumble under criticism, or stand rooted in truth? Do you lose sleep over opinions, or rest in the strength of quiet self-respect? Nelson Mandela once said, "I am not a saint, unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying." That's the posture of true dignity, not perfection, but persistence in the face of misunderstanding. Here's the truth. Most insults aren't even about you. They're projections, reflections of someone else's fear, pain, or insecurity. And when you stop absorbing their energy, you begin protecting your peace. You stop echoing the wound and start ending the cycle. So next time someone throws shade, don't catch it. Let it pass like wind through branches. Be so anchored in your values that insults become irrelevant noise. Not because you're arrogant, but because you've done the work to know who you are. Turn every insult into introspection, every mockery into mindfulness. Let them attack, but let it awaken something deeper in you. Because resilience isn't about silence, it's about spiritual strength that doesn't shake when shaken. Part 5. The power of delayed reaction. Respond. Don't react. There's a tiny space, often less than a second, between what happens to you and how you respond. That small pause? It's everything. It's the difference between peace and regret, between growth and self-sabotage. The Stoics lived by this discipline. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. What he meant was, your reaction reveals your training. Anyone can speak wisdom in calm waters, but in stormy seas, your reflex shows your roots. When you react instantly, you give away your power. But when you pause, breathe, and observe, you reclaim it. You create a sacred delay between trigger and action. And in that gap, your highest self can step forward. Modern neuroscience confirms this. The famous amygdala hijack explains why we explode under pressure. Our primitive brain takes over before logic has a chance. But Dr. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. That space can be trained. With practice, you learn to lengthen it, turning heat into clarity. Try this. When anger rises, don't speak. When insult strikes, don't respond. Count to 5, breathe once. That breath could save a friendship, a job, or your peace. Delayed reaction is not weakness, it's restraint. It's refusing to let temporary emotion destroy permanent character. It's choosing response over revenge, wisdom over impulse, peace over pride. Think about how many regrets in your life began with a quick reaction. A text you wish you hadn't sent, a word you can't take back, a decision made in frustration. Delay would have changed everything. But this isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally wise. The Dalai Lama said, "A disciplined mind leads to happiness, and an undisciplined mind leads to suffering." Your pause is not avoidance. It's spiritual leadership over your own mind. Start practicing today. Don't rush to reply. Don't justify every feeling. Don't assume urgency equals importance. The wisest people move slowly because they value what lasts more than what reacts. In that sacred pause, you give birth to the person you're becoming, the one who leads with calm, the one who speaks with precision, the one who no longer lets the world pull strings on their emotional puppet. So pause, reflect, then act with clarity, because the more you master the pause, the more you master your life. Part 6. Detachment is not apathy, it's inner power. People often confuse detachment with indifference. They think if you don't get upset, you don't care. But true detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's the ability to love deeply without losing yourself, to engage fully without becoming enslaved by outcomes. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Detachment is not disconnecting from life, it's separating your peace from what you cannot control. When you're detached, you still feel, but your feelings don't run you. You're still invested, but not addicted. You still care, but you're not consumed. That's not apathy. That's mastery. Modern psychology supports this distinction. According to Dr. Susan David, a Harvard Medical School psychologist, emotional agility, not emotional rigidity, is what keeps people mentally healthy. Detachment helps create that agility. It gives you space between feeling and fixation. Think of detachment like a spiritual shield. Life throws arrows, rejection, loss, uncertainty. If you're attached to how things must go, you break. But if you're detached, you bend and bounce back. You adapt. You evolve. In relationships, detachment means you love without clinging. In work, it means you serve without obsessing. In hardship, it means you endure without resentment. You show up fully without letting your identity be hijacked by things beyond your control. As Buddha once said, you only lose what you cling to. Let that sink in. How much pain in your life has come from trying to force, fix, or hold on to something that was never meant to be permanent? Detachment teaches you this: your joy is not in results, it's in alignment. Your worth is not in outcomes, it's in integrity. You can remain rooted even as life changes because you are not your circumstances. You are the witness to them. So let go, not to give up, but to rise up. Let go of the need to control every detail. Let go of needing others to validate your worth. Let go of the timeline you thought life should follow. Freedom begins the moment you stop clutching. Practice this today. Observe without absorbing. Engage without attachment. Love without losing yourself. And remind yourself, detachment is not the absence of care, it's the presence of inner peace. Part 7. Embrace discomfort. The path is through, not around. Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. We distract, delay, or deny anything that feels hard, awkward, or painful. But in doing so, we also delay our growth, because what you avoid owns you, and what you face frees you. The Stoics didn't run from discomfort, they walked into it. Seneca wrote, We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Pain itself is rarely the problem. It's the fear of pain, the story we tell about it, that paralyzes us. Modern science confirms this ancient wisdom. Dr. Kelly McGonigal, a health psychologist at Stanford, found that people who embrace discomfort through challenge and meaning have better stress resilience, lower anxiety, and stronger immune systems. In other words, your mindset toward discomfort shapes how it affects your body and life. When you avoid what hurts, you shrink. But when you face what hurts with wisdom, you expand. Every moment of discomfort holds a mirror. It shows you where you're still fragile, reactive, or dependent. And if you're brave enough to look, it also shows you where you can grow stronger. This is why cold showers, tough workouts, or fasting are so powerful in Stoic practice. It's not about punishment, it's about preparation. If you can face voluntary discomfort, you train your nervous system to stay calm when life brings involuntary pain. Marcus Aurelius faced war, loss, and plague, yet wrote about them with clarity, not panic. Why? Because he had practiced discomfort daily, not just physically, but emotionally. He didn't avoid grief or anger. He observed them, sat with them, then chose his response. You can do the same. Start small. Embrace the awkward silence instead of rushing to fill it. Sit with the disappointment instead of distracting yourself. Lean into the fear instead of fleeing from it. These moments refine you more than comfort ever could. James Baldwin once said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." The discomfort is not your enemy, it's your invitation to transform, to awaken, to rise. So today, don't pray for the path to be easier. Pray to be stronger. Don't avoid what stretches you. Enter it with presence. The path is not around the pain. The path is through it. And you, my friend, are strong enough to walk it. Part 8. Focus on what you control, let go of the rest. Most of our stress doesn't come from what's happening. It comes from trying to control what we never could. The weather, other people's opinions, the past, the future. We grip tightly thinking control will save us, but often it's the gripping that's drowning us. The Stoics were obsessed with one concept, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." In those few words lies a blueprint for peace. You can't control the storm, but you can steer your ship. Modern psychology agrees. According to Dr. Stephen Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, highly effective individuals focus their energy inside their circle of influence. When we fixate on what we can't influence, we feel helpless. But when we shift our attention inward, our actions, mindset, habits, we reclaim power. Think about it. You can't control if someone likes you, but you can control how you treat them. You can't control the economy, but you can control your spending and skills. You can't control aging, but you can choose how you care for your body and spirit. When you focus only on what's outside of you, you become a victim of the wind. But when you focus inward, Kuranopanyodi Yasyo Osi, on your responses, your character, your daily disciplines, you become the anchor. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means surrendering the illusion. It means saying, "I will do my best," and release the rest. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. This mindset doesn't just protect your peace, it sharpens your productivity. By removing emotional waste and false responsibility, you free your energy to act where it matters most. No more spinning in circles, no more trying to fix what's not yours to fix. It's like trying to hold sand in your fist. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. But when you open your hand and accept what is, suddenly you carry it with grace. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." That's where freedom begins, not in dominating the world, but in mastering your choices within it. So today, write down what's draining you. Then cross out what you cannot control. Focus only on what's left: your thoughts, your actions, your attitude. That is your kingdom. Guard it, build it, own it. The rest, let it pass like wind through the trees. You are not here to control the storm. You are here to be unmoved by it. Part 9. Live with integrity, character over comfort. In a world obsessed with image, fame, and quick wins, integrity can feel outdated. But it's not. It's your anchor. When storms rise and the world shifts, it's your character, not your comfort, that will keep you steady. The Stoics believed that virtue is the only true good. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter." Not applause, not reward, not whether people understand or approve, just doing what's right, especially when no one's watching. Living with integrity doesn't always feel good. It's not always rewarded immediately. Sometimes it means walking away from easy money, speaking a truth that costs you popularity, or choosing silence over gossip. Integrity isn't glamorous, it's grounded. And yet, it's powerful. According to research from Dr. Brené Brown, people who live with integrity experience lower anxiety, deeper relationships, and higher self-worth. Why? Because there's no gap between who they are and what they show. No energy wasted on pretending. Living with integrity doesn't mean being perfect. It means being consistent. It means aligning your values with your actions, even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, especially when no one's watching. We all face choices every day, comfort or character, what feels good now or what builds who you're becoming. When your values are clear, the decisions become simple, not easy, but clear. Seneca wrote, "We should every night call ourselves to an account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passion opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired?" This daily check-in keeps your soul honest. It keeps your heart clean. Because the truth is, comfort fades, applause fades, but character leaves a legacy. Who you are when things fall apart matters more than who you are when life is easy. That's what people remember. That's what shapes your destiny. Nelson Mandela said, "Real leaders must be ready to sacrifice all for the freedom of their people." That's integrity in action. Choosing principle over convenience, conviction over conformity. So today, ask yourself not just what do I want, but who am I becoming? Because success built on compromise is failure in disguise, but peace built on principle, that's real success. The kind that can't be shaken. Choose the harder right over the easier wrong. Speak the truth, even when your voice trembles. And when in doubt, remember, your reputation is what people think of you. Your character is who you really are. Part 10. Prepare for death daily. Memento mori. Memento mori. Remember that you must die. To many, those words sound dark. But to the Stoics, they were a daily reminder of life's urgency, of meaning, of sacred presence. Not a call to fear death, but to cherish life. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his time, wrote in his journal, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." That wasn't despair, it was discipline. It was clarity in the face of illusion. Because when you remember death, you stop wasting time. You stop postponing the important conversations. You stop chasing approval from people you don't even respect. Death strips away the noise and leaves only what's true. Psychologists call this the mortality salience effect, the idea that contemplating death often leads to more intentional living. Studies show that those who reflect on their mortality often act with more kindness, focus more on relationships, and pursue meaningful goals, not superficial ones. Steve Jobs once said, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." When you face the end honestly, fear begins to lose its grip. You stop hesitating. You start living. Memento mori is not morbid. It's liberating. It teaches you to stop sleepwalking through life, to stop assuming you'll always have tomorrow, to say sorry, to follow your dream, to love fully. One day, you won't. And so the Stoics practiced death, not to rehearse sadness, but to deepen gratitude, to hold each moment as sacred, to make peace with endings so they could live better beginnings. Think about it. What would you do differently if you knew you had only 1 year left? 1 month? 1 week? Why not live like that now, not recklessly, but honestly, urgently, fully? Because the point is not to fear death, it's to fear not having lived, to fear wasting your gift, to fear never becoming who you were called to be. Let memento mori humble you. Let it sharpen your purpose. Let it soften your heart. Hug more, forgive faster, speak the truth gently, serve with fire, create with courage, rest with peace. You are not guaranteed another sunrise, but you are given this breath, this moment. And that, my friend, is more than enough to begin again. You've just journeyed through 10 timeless Stoic principles, ideas that have outlived empires, survived wars, and guided some of history's most resilient souls. But remember, wisdom isn't in knowing, it's in practicing. Knowing the path is one thing. Walking it daily is where the real strength is forged. The world will still test you. People will still misunderstand you. Life will remain unpredictable. But you now carry something deeper than reaction, something steadier than emotion. You carry the mindset of stillness, of courage, of quiet inner power. Seneca once said, "Life is long if you know how to use it, and now you do. Use it well. Live with purpose. Pause before you react. Choose character over comfort. And never forget, death is not the end." It's a reminder to live now, fully and freely. Here at Mindset Fuel Hub, our mission is to help you return again and again to what truly matters. Not noise, not trends, but timeless truth. If today's message stirred something in you, share it with someone who needs strength. And if you haven't already, follow the podcast so you never miss your next moment of clarity. You were born for depth, for resilience, for peace that cannot be shaken. So carry this fuel into your day and let nothing disturb your inner calm. Until next time, stay grounded, stay powerful, stay you.